Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Mortal Realms video. As per usual though, if you like these videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below. I can't say this often enough, but I do appreciate every comment that you give. Right, this week's issue, we're on issue 28 and we have some new Night Haunt models. We have the Spirit Host models, really good. Fairly quick and simple to build, fairly quick and easy to paint as well. It shouldn't take you long to get these done, but you can get something really cool looking out of them. So it should be good fun when you get going with them. In all honesty, you will probably spend more time painting up the skeletons on the bases than you will majority of the rest of the model, in my honest opinion. But you can do some really cool stuff with them and make them look really good. Now, into this week's issue. So of course it's issue 28 as I've already said. So Spirit Hosts are greeting us on the first page. So of the many deadly geists that haunt mortal realms, Spirit Hosts are perhaps the most common. They stalk the realm's haunted cairns, battlefields and cursed sites. Since the Necroquake sent waves of death magic across the mortal realms, Spirit Hosts have only increased in number. So, Spirit Hosts do like to swarm, surround and overwhelm their victims. They are vengeful ghosts as per usual, with the majority of the Night Haunt, and they are really cool. They are pretty different. They are very common throughout the mortal realms, so they have a lot of scope and you have a lot of cool, different little things you can do with them, and different ways that you can paint them if you wish to as well, or you can just go for some basic matte ways of doing it using Nilic Oxide or Hexray Flame or something like that. Entirely up to you, but with contrast paints you could do something even more special with them if you wanted as well, so it's not too bad. And then we've got things about information about the Extremist Chambers. So the Extremist Chambers are kind of your mounted Stormcast units. So they are they generally kind of pair up with the star scale children of Drakothian, the Great Drake, and they form an unstoppable force upon the battlefield. So you have got Dracoths and you got Star Drakes as well. So these are the Star Drakes are winged dragon-like children of Drakothian, and they are immensely powerful. And Dracoths are fierce, intelligent, lightning spitting drakes from the realm of the heavens. They're non-winged creatures, and they are these guys here, but they are really cool looking. They look pretty different as well, and it is nice to have some kind of monsters on the side of good as well, which is always a bit different. So we've got a bit more information about all of them. So literally you've got kind of a breakdown of how the Extremist Chambers work. So you've got the Lord Celestant on a Star Drake. You have Drake-sworn Templars, Tempestors, Fulminators, Desolators and Concussors. So the Star Drake of course is a big winged creature, the same with the Drake-sworn Templar. They tend to be on a Star Drake as well, more times out of 9 times out of 10. Your Tempestors, Fulminators, your Desolators, Concussors and everything like that generally tend to kind of be on Dracoths mounted as well, which you kind of armoured in Sigmar as well, so they are protected. Really cool units, and they all have different abilities. So your Concussors are hammer wielders, Desolators carry these big massive axes, Fulminators carry more of a spear and glaives and stuff like that, and Tempestors carry these bolt kind of crossbow like weapons. But they are really good stuff, quite interesting as well. So, and that's your general breakdown of there as well. That's it for the lore section of this magazine. So there's not much more that's going on, because they are giving us more information about painting and how to improve your painting on the Night Haunt models as well. Your how to build section. So in your how to build you have got 3 extra accessories, which are the 2 gravestones and the kind of the gravestone with the candles on and skull on it. So you can do a bit of fun stuff with that, so you can have a bit of a chill out and a bit more of fun kind of section with that. You how to build your Spirit Host. So They shouldn't be too bad. It should be fairly easy to paint, build up and paint and everything like that. So yeah, you can have a bit of fun with these, and it's going to go perfectly fine and perfectly well with building all 3 of them spirit hosts. Painting them, their idea of course is Nilic Oxide and Corax White, so paint it all with Corax White, Nilic Oxide over the spirit host itself, and then just literally dry brush over with Corax White is pretty much what I'm guessing it's going to be, and I'm right. That is the simple way of painting it. It'll work, it'll be very effective, and it'll look pretty decent, but you can do a bit more with it as well if you wanted to. So they've got an extended paint scheme as well for your Night Haunts if you want to use it, if you're following this paint scheme. So get out your Mephiston Red, get your Briar Queen, get your Dried Scythe Harridans, and paint up them flowers that are in their hair and that are stretching from the thorns and the barbs and everything like that as well, them roses that are going along the units. It'll work very, very well. It'll look very, very nice as well, and you can also do a bit of shading in there as well. So if you want to just, I don't know, chuck a bit of Rycliffe Flash shade, or you can use Agrak Surf shade in the roses as well, and it'll darken the little recesses up, and it'll mean that you don't have to touch them up too much and do too much more with them. Skulls and Spines, they're saying using Rathcar Flesh, which, yeah, fine, not a problem. You can do that if you wish to, or use Wraithbone or something like that, or Shabty Bone or something along them lines, and it'll work very well. Same with things like your smaller details like ropes, the drum skin, and stuff like that as well, and kind of like your little bits and pieces. You're going to need a fine detail brush for some of it, so be careful, and hopefully you won't kind of ruin your models. To be honest, in all honesty, sometimes them kind of bits and pieces are easier to paint up before you paint the larger bodies that are next to them. Using Balthasar Gold on a lot of stuff as well, so using it for the kind of, because it's a darker gold than the Retributor armor, their idea is to use it on things like them candlesticks, the sword hilts, certain pieces of the armor for the Night Haunt, and certain areas as well. It will look pretty decent. It's definitely worth doing and could keep you going for a little bit as well, and to use them on certain studs and stuff like that, but you can use Ironbreaker to do that if you wish to instead. And Cantor Blue for certain areas as well, like the hourglasses that are carried by a few different Banshees and the Night Shrouds and stuff like that as well. And then use Agrak Surf Shade over a lot of bits and pieces, so which will do fairly well in all honesty, and it would work, and it will make it look more different and a bit decent, and it'll look better than just the standard paint job that they generally suggest. So you have got a good option with all of that, and the same with all your other bits and pieces. So if you're following it, eventually you'll have something that looks similar to that, probably not identical, but it will work very, very well, and it's giving you an idea of how to paint up every different model from a Night Haunt range that we're getting with the magazine. So good stuff, although you can do a lot of different other bits and pieces if you wish to, and yeah, have fun with them. So your War Scroll, you've got the extended War Scroll for the Spirit Host. So of course they can fly because they're ghosts, they are ethereal, they have Frightful Touch as their main ability, and they have Spectral Claws and Daggers as well, which only have a range of 1 inch, 6 attack, 5+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. So they are really good, pretty different. They can move 6 inches at a time, they have 3 wounds, 10 bravery, and a 4+ save. Yeah, you can get some really good stuff going on with these. So because they're ethereal, they can't be rendered by kind of a lot of missiles or anything like that. They have the ability to fly, so they can essentially pass through pretty much any terrain as long as it's within their movement range. And they have Frightful Touch as well, so they have an ability to do a lot more damage without really doing much kind of melee damage itself. The battle plan for this week is Cleansing the Grove. So it is literally the Night Haunt's fell magic has spread dark curse upon the forest. The Sylvaneth of the Heartwood Glade find one of our sacred groves overrun by the dead. Knight Quester Auric Ravenscar leads a force of Stormcast Eternals deep into the forest to cleanse the Whisper Wood of the spectral dead. So, for this one, we are using Dreadblade Harrow, the Spirit Hosts, and 15 Chain Rasps. So you'll need your Chain Rasps from Thorns of a Briar Queen set, as well as your normal Chain Rasps as well. Going up against Knight Quester, 5 Secretors, 4 Liberators, and 1 Prosecutor as well. So you have 1 flying unit from the Stormcast, and then you've got your main melee units as well. So really, really good stuff. Should be fairly easy to do. Play it on your guy around map. Get your standard bits of good old scenery out on the go from recent issues as well. So yeah, you can have fun with that. Enjoy it. And it is definitely a new battle plan to get going with. And then we move on to next week. So next week we'll get Null Noil, which is very, very handy for a lot of stuff. So especially for painting darker materials. We'll also get Baneblade Brown, when I can learn to speak it, say the words properly. So it's kind of like a tan colour brown. Yeah, so not too bad. It'll keep us going for a bit longer. And then issue 30, we get more scenery. So more of the Azurite Ruin, so another walled section with all them grates, the little kind of broken fountain as well, just fair. So good stuff to get on with. Some really exciting issues coming up though, because we're getting that Lord Exorcist soon as well, which should be really, really good. That is the issue in 3 weeks time. We'll get them schools in 4 weeks. And then we've got some really good stuff. I know what's coming with a good few issues now, going up to almost issue 40. So yeah, so we're going to get some really good stuff coming up. And it's always very helpful to have more paints as well. Right, that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. As I say at the beginning of videos, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment and all that type of stuff. And I will see you in the very near future. Bye bye now.